Hey guys, it's Cal here with RideWrap, and today we're going to jump into a tailored protection install for a Fox 36, a 2026 version. So this one was released at the start of this year, 2026. It's available in both matte and gloss finish. This one is going to be a gloss finish that we're going to put on this orange fork here today. Okay, so we're just about to hop into this install here. We'll do a quick breakdown of what comes in the box once your protection kit is delivered. So this one's Fox 36 2026 onwards. So as we do a box opening, we're going to see that we have the installation tool set. We've got a tailored protection kit, and we do actually in fact have a install diagram to go along with your protection kit. So as we do an opening of the installation tools, there is some install solution concentrate, which is mixed with water to help with your install. If you want to check out an in-depth video of that one, check out the link above. And then besides that, we also have some install cleaning wipes, which is a ISO cleaning wipe that's going to allow the fork itself to be nice and clean, ready to go. As well, we're going to have a squeegee. So it comes with a squeegee. There's also some RideWrap decals, also a microfiber towel. So perfect, they're good to go. So as you can see on this sheet, for the install diagram, each of the pieces are actually labeled, and they correspond with the labeling of the pieces on the actual protection kit itself. So now our next step is going to be taking off the front wheel, getting that ready to go, all cleaned up, so that we can get the install done and achieve those nice clean install results. Little tip I like to kind of do here is actually remove this brake line cable mount, being mindful that the little screw can sometimes go missing. So I actually do a quick reinstall of that, and then I remove the small mount, put that to one side so it doesn't go missing. So with the install tool set, we're going to get these pre-install cleaning wipes. With the pre-install cleaning wipes, we're going to need to make sure we're paying particular attention to the areas in which could potentially collect dirt, debris, grease, all that stuff that is really going to, create some challenges for the adhesive on the protection kit itself to adhere to the fork lowers. As you can see on this bike, when the bike was washed, it was washed with the wheels on, so we actually missed those areas. I've collected some brake dust from that front caliper, so in this instance I'm going to pay particular attention to that area too, making sure that I'm super clean. With this fork being a used fork, there is a couple of small marks on these lowers already, so pay attention to those areas, making sure that there's no dirt. It could potentially compromise the install quality. So now the lowers are clean and free of debris and oil. I'm gonna just go up to these, to the crowns there. I'm gonna make sure that there's no dirt or debris that's gonna potentially slip. As you can see, that there just came out of the headset area. I'm gonna change my angle, go back and make sure that that's nice and clean. So I'm gonna start on the piece number A for this one. So we're gonna do non-brake side. We're going to make sure we've got lots and lots of install concentrate mix on that fork lower, and as well, you spray down the sheet. Make sure that that is also not going to allow any dirt or debris to jump onto the piece. As they are quite static, you will find that we're going to end up with some dirt jumping onto there if you're not careful. So again, lots of moisture. More moisture on the piece, both inside and outside, so adhesive side and the exterior. It's just going to really allow the squeegee to glide on the exterior and also allow for a much nicer install when lots of moisture on the adhesive side. So as you can see, I actually used this area as the main alignment point, and then I came down and I actually used this area here against the dropout again for an additional alignment point. And then I'd actually done a what I would call relaxed test fitment of this piece, just making sure that we've got good alignment for the bleed port on that back side. So happy with that now. So now I'm going to grab my squeegee. We're going to squeegee from the center of this piece. I'm going to pull that back. I'm going to squeegee from the center here. Being mindful that this is actually obviously a cylinder style. So what we need to be mindful of is if we're squeegeeing like this, we've got a very small contact point, whereas I wanted to get my piece started, so I've started that way, and then I've applied a little bit more pressure, as you can see with the squeegee, just how much pressure is being applied by how it's actually flexing. So as we go this way, we're going to work our way into that area. It's a little bit more challenging. We're going to use my finger just to kind of get that going. And then once we're here, I'm actually going to use the larger surface of the squeegee to squeegee around the corner. Work our way to the edge. As you can see with this, because there is a decal applied to the fork itself, there is a small, what we describe as an air gap, that is going to form around the exterior of the decal itself. So pay attention to that as you're doing your install. Make sure you're applying some pressure to those edges, removing the moisture that's sat in that area in particular. Another application of some more moisture, making sure that that's not drying out. And again, we're going to use that wider edge of the squeegee. I'm going to apply a little bit of tension. Going right to the edge, making sure that there's no moisture trapped under there. So as we get to those edges, this is where the microfiber towel comes into play. So as you get to the edge and there's a little bit of moisture potentially just creeping back under the edge, best way to deal with that is actually just use the microfiber to allow you to dry up that moisture. Remove it from the surface and stop it creeping back under that edge. Piece A is now complete. We're going to come back to it once we've done the application of the other pieces, and we'll just check our edges and make sure we're comfortable with the application. So the next one would be B that we're going to jump into. Which one is? So B, as you can see, comes around the side of the bridge. So we're going to do that one next. In this case, I'm actually going to use just regular plain water because it's a smaller piece. It's going to allow the piece to adhere to the fork a little bit faster than what it would do had we have used the install concentrate. If you've not yet watched the install concentrate breakdown video, I'd suggest you go to check that out because it explains why we use install concentrate and how it can be used as a tool for application to speed up and slow down the adhesive when doing an install. Again, I'm just going to squeegee. So when I've done the placement of this piece, just done a really nice alignment off this edge, nice and even all the way up. Then I'm going to use my microfiber towel to draw that moisture. Okay, I'm now going to do piece C, which is the piece on the front of the bridge. This one. Again, with this being a smaller, more intricate piece, I'm going to use just regular water for the application. Using these pieces as alignment here. Using that microfiber towel to draw out the moisture in those areas that are just lifting back up. So the next piece we're going to be doing is piece D. Just goes on the inside of that bridge. And again, I'm creating a nice alignment point from this outer edge. Just doing gently installing that piece, allowing it to sit a little bit more relaxed, and also using only the water instead of the install concentrate. Okay, next piece. Piece E. So now we're on the brake side lower. So on this piece, I'm actually going to go back to using the install concentrate that is mixed with water. It's going to allow me a little bit more working time than just the regular water. So as I did with the piece A, I'm actually going to use this area again as my alignment, and I'm going to gently rest this piece in place. And as you can see, the piece itself comes nicely and sits into here, and I've rested it gently, and it's going to go nicely around the bleed port. And then it's also going to go and sit around the brake mount. So again, we're going to center line that piece. We're going to make sure that we're happy with that, and then we're going to slowly but surely work to the edges here using the wider surface of the squeegee. Again, just as we did with the piece A, we need to make sure that we're paying particular attention to these decal edges to remove as much of the moisture as possible, which reduces the silvering of the air gap around the decal itself, which once dried overnight and left in a room temperature is barely visible. Yep. Just a quick reapplication of some moisture here, just to make sure we've got a good amount on there to allow the squeegee to glide as we kind of finish up those areas. Working our way around, again, using the bigger, flatter surface on the squeegee in some cases. And coming around and just making sure we're drawing the moisture from those edges to allow it to sit and adhere to the fork lower properly. Okay. So now we'll hop into that next piece. Next piece is F. So F, again, comes right around the side. And again, we're going to use just regular water on this piece, with it being a smaller, more intricate piece. We're going to gently rest this up, using our alignment spots as a reference point. Just as we did on the first side. So as we've got nice alignment here, I'm just going to slowly squeegee these edges. This piece right the way around. And draw the moisture out with that microfiber towel. Again. As I'm drawing the moisture out, when I get to the end, I'm actually just applying a little bit of pressure and holding it for 5 seconds. Just going to allow it to start to adhere properly. Okay. And I'm going to work on the next piece. Which is G. Again, this is a mirror of the first side that we did. So we're going to do a nice application of just regular water, just to allow that moisture to help us. Just making sure we've got nice alignment off this back side here first. Piece is done. I'm going to move on to the next one. H, which is the very top of the bridge. It's a small, more intricate piece again, so we're going to take just the regular water to really allow us to get that to sit nicely. Reapplication of some water. Make sure we've got nice alignment against the rear edge of the bridge. We're gonna squeegee. And as I get to the end there and there's some moisture, I'm just going to apply pressure for 3, 4, 5 seconds. Okay. So now we're on J. We move up to the crown there. So J. Just up here, just on the crown, which is the non-drive side. Sorry, non-brake side. We're going to take the piece and we're going to make sure we've got nice alignment up to the compression adjustments. The next one is K. I'm actually going to use some install concentrate on this piece, just to allow the adhesive to slow down, give me a little bit more working time. So I've gently rested that up to make sure my alignment's good. Now I'm just going to squeegee and use the microfiber as usual. Just the center section, and then we'll slowly work our way out, making sure there's no moisture left on those center sections. As we get to those edges, again, just using the microfiber towel, remove that moisture. So I'm going to work my way around the back and do exactly the same here. The next piece, L, again, crown just on the opposite side, so the brake side. And this one, I'm going to use just the regular water, using the alignment points. Squeegeeing from the center out to the sides. And finishing with the microfiber. So next one is I. Again, this is the outer crown. And this one, I'm going to use some install concentrate mix, just as I did with the first side. I'm going to gently rest this piece in the correct spot for align, using the alignment points. So just as we did with the first side, we're going to start in the center. We're going to make sure we're squeegeeing all that moisture out. Once we've squeegeed, again, we'll come in and finish with the microfiber on the edges. Applying some pressure for 5 seconds as before. It's going to allow that adhesive to start to tack. Last couple of pieces, we've got N and M, M and N. So this is a small piece for M. Sits on the front side. The crown just in the center. This piece sits here in the center. Just want to make sure that we're sat nicely in the center. This piece is to stop some people when their cables are just sat just so. This is quite a high wear area. We've really tried to make sure that we've got protection there to omit that. I'm going to grab my microfiber towel now and squeegee, just finish that up. And that one. Then we've got N, final piece, which is just the rear. Make sure that we've got the piece sat down nicely in that crease before we squeegee and then finish with the microfiber. So now all the pieces have been installed. Piece A through N. We are now going to go back to piece A. I'm going to work through our edges on each of the pieces. We're going to make sure we're happy with those. Once we're happy, we are going to leave the protection for 24 hours in a warm room temperature environment before heading out on the trails to ride our bike. Okay, so we're going to throw this cable mount back on. Get once the wheel's back on. So now that cable mount's nice and snug. We're just going to get this wheel back installed. Okay, now the wheel's back installed. We've checked our edges. We're now 24 hours later and we are good to hit the trails. So just want to thank you guys for watching this. If you've got any other specific tailored protection kit videos that you guys want to see, feel free to shoot them in the comments below and we can do our best to get to them. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.